Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Victoria and welcome to Pembroke Beauty. So today we are doing a wedding inspired makeup look. So if you are around my age, which I think is public knowledge, I'm 25, literally almost every single person in my life is either getting engaged, is getting married, is going to weddings frequently. I've been in several weddings recently and I'm gonna be in several weddings this year. And yeah, so with the type of thing that I do, a lot of people ask me to do their makeup and I have been asked. I actually do already have a wedding makeup tutorial. It's just way back in the beginning of my YouTube career. And the quality is like, because I've improved. But with that being said, I figured today I have a new palette that I got for Christmas, and I would show you guys what almost every bride that's asked me to do their makeup has asked for this type of look. And it's a pretty universal bridesmaids bridal makeup look. And yeah, so I figured I would do that today. I did a poll on my Instagram, which if you don't follow me, you should. And I asked if you wanted to see this or if you wanted to see a palette review. I'm gonna do both, but I was talking about a different palette, and I will do that one probably next week. Yeah. So anyway, most of you voted for wedding makeup. It was almost even, but there was a slight majority more of wedding. So that's what we're doing today. All right. So obviously, for me, I like to start with my base, and I am going to do a wedding makeup look that requires no foundation because in the weddings I've been in the past, and in the weddings I will be in the future, I personally do not wear foundation. You guys know this. I feel like I say it every time, but I don't. And I think it's important that if you're going to be doing an event that is like special like this, where there's going to be a lot of photography, if you are not somebody who wears a ton of makeup on a regular basis, don't choose your wedding day to do that. You definitely should wear makeup if that's what you're going for, but don't, pack it on if that's not something that you do regularly. If you're somebody who freaking does makeup and you love it, then do it. But if you're somebody who wears mascara and a lip gloss only on a regular, don't go full glam on your wedding day, because it's just not gonna look like you, if that makes sense. So with that being said, I personally, if I was to be getting married, I would not wear foundation on my wedding day. And for the weddings I'm going to be in as a bridesmaid, I'm not going to wear foundation as well. So if you're somebody who does wear foundation, I would go with a tried and true foundation that you have used. There are tons of foundation reviews on YouTube, and unfortunately this is not the place for that. That being said, go ahead and check out some of those, or if you have one that you love, wear that one. Just make sure whatever you wear, it's long lasting and it matches your neck. That's important. But yes, so with that being said, I'm just going to use concealer, and currently this is my favorite concealer, so I'm going to use this one. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh, and it's in the shade 10N. I really like how this looks on the skin. It sinks in, but it gives me good coverage, and it's not too cakey, and it's not too natural. So yeah, that's why I'm choosing to go with this one today, and it sets down beautifully. So we're just going to concealer under eyes and any place that there's redness or blemishes or anything like that. Okay, so you can see that I have placed it in all the places that I normally do, but I did also do right around my nose. A lot of women in particular get a lot of redness in this area, and I know I do too, and that's somewhere that I would want in pictures to not look red. So I'm just placing a little bit there, and so if you're somebody else who is not going to wear foundation or you're going to do a very light coverage, I would focus to put a little bit of coverage right there as well, just to make sure, everything's looking even. Okay, so now that we have that base down, I would say it is important to definitely set your makeup, your base makeup. So I'm going to use, this is key. You guys got to do some research if you're not going to buy this powder or another one that I'll mention. You need to make sure that the powder you pick does not have flashback. So that means when you put this powder on and you take a picture of yourself with flash, you don't have a flashback Mary situation. I will insert the picture here. It can make you look crazy, and there are some powders that do that. I believe the ingredient that's in it that makes it do that is silica. I could be wrong. I will put it on the screen here if I'm wrong. But yes, definitely do some research. This is a powder that does not do that. This is the Pretty Vulgar powder. It's the Powder Room Matte About It setting powder. This does not do that. The Colourpop, that doesn't do it either. So just make sure when you're looking into powdering, you're not picking something that will do that to you. And if you want to check, you can put it on your hand or put it on your face and then take a picture of yourself with flash. And if you look crazy, don't wear that. Don't wear that. So I'm just going to do a light dusting of this. If you're somebody who's very oily or very concerned about things falling off of your face, definitely do a good solid set. If you're somebody like me who's very dry, I'm not like super concerned about setting. I do want to make sure that things are in the right place and they're not going to move, but I do sweat, but I'm not oily, so it's not going to be major for me. The other key thing to think about is your primer. I just use a nice moisturizing base. I would go with the tried and trusty. I have used the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer on some people, and that primer's very nice as well. So if you're looking for one, that one's drugstore and it's very effective. Everybody knows about that one, I think, at this point. It's like a cult classic almost now, which is crazy because it's not that old. But yeah, so if you're looking for a drugstore primer, that's a good one. But you guys know I'm not like a huge primer person, so yeah. But that's up to you. I would think about it if you are concerned and want things to stick on. The other one that I've heard good reviews about, again, I haven't tried it, is the e.l.f. Mint Melt, I think. That one's like a gripping primer, so if you are going to wear foundation and you want it to stick, that would be a good option to try out. Try it before you go to the event. But that being said, yeah, that's a good option. Alright, so now it is time for bronzer and contour. I do think that it's important to contour your face a little bit. You don't want to go crazy. But just a little bit of contouring is important because it will help you in the pictures. If you don't do a lot of photography, then you may not know. But if you're somebody who's trying to like cut corners, don't cut it with bronzer. You need to have that little bit of warmth and contour to help chisel you in photos. So I love the KVD Shade and Light palette, but you need to be careful. So let's discuss. So I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. brush, my little favorite bronzer brush, and I'm going to go into the contour, the lightest like cool tone brown shade. I'm just going to pick it up right on the side of my brush, and I want to focus this high and just really like right. So if I fishy, you're going to go just above that. This will help lift your face because you do want it to be shadowed, but if you put it too low, it will put the shadow in a weird way that will drag your face actually down. And so if you want to look youthful and up, you got to put it a little higher than that spot. You're just going to brush it right into that hairline. Then you're going to use the brush to fluff it upwards. Up and back, up and back. So I don't know if you can tell, but that added just a hint of a bronze and a slight contour. And we'll clean. So I'm just going to repeat, but I'm going to go into both this shade and this shade straight onto the brush. And I'm going to tap off the excess. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to place this even higher than I was just doing. And I'm just going to pat, starting at the hairline, working your way down the face. So then we're going to go up onto the forehead. You do want a good forehead bronze. It is crucial that you have a little bit of color up there, or else you're going to look awkward and uneven. So just blow it right up into that hairline. And if you're somebody with a slightly larger forehead, you may want to do a little bit more of this. So now you have a slight contour there, which looks very nice. And you can take, now that this brush has almost no product left, you can then do like slight circular motions, fluffing it upwards. And this will help blend it into your cheek and make it look much more natural, but you still have that contour. Another crucial point, take both of those shades and contour your neck. So you want to get right up under that chin and get it back into where this jawline is. This will help create an illusion of you having a more distinct jawline, and it will look very nice in photos. And then you're going to take a little bit more and you're going to drag it down, because if you've done all that, then it's going to look a little funky if you don't pull it down on your neck a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy, just a little. And that gives the illusion that your neck is farther back than your face, which will help you look more chiseled. Yeah. I like to put a little bit around my nose. I don't do like a hardcore nose contour. If you are somebody who likes that, you can do that. I'm just going to take a little bit and just... But I do think a little bit is crucial, because if not, then it looks a little funky that you have like a lot of color and then nothing. Then you're going to take your face brush and you're going to go into the lightest shade here and the yellow shade here, and you're going to contour right under, or like bake right underneath of where you put that. You want to angle it up towards the center of your ear. This will help to clean up that line. Don't be afraid to go in. You can have a good amount of product on there. So your goal is to make this look even on both sides. Like I said, you're going to use a lot of powder on that, so it's going to get a little dusty. And you're just going to leave that on there for a little bit. It's just going to sit on there, chill out. You can pull some of that down onto your jaw if you want. So whichever blush you want to use is up to you. I like a good natural tone, and you guys know I love a cream blush because I'm dry. If you're somebody who is not dry and you are concerned about maybe having it fall off of you because you're oily or whatever, then maybe switch up this idea. But I'm going to go in with my blush Stix because I know I like how this wears on my skin. It makes me look dewy, and that's something that I would want to look like if I was in a wedding or attending a wedding or having a wedding. So I'm going to go in with my little blush brush, and I'm just going to apply my blush right over top almost of where we put that bronzer. And just do circular motions, fluffing it up, bringing it in a little bit into the cheek, and pulling it up onto the forehead almost. Yeah, and you can see how much more flush that looks than this side. And because you have that bake on, if any drops below, if you're using powder, it won't show up. And then I like a little blush on the nose. Again, that is personal preference. Pull it a little bit down so it makes you look a little flush, but not too flushed. Yeah, I think that looks beautiful. And you can see how like juicy my cheeks look now. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to take my face brush and I'm going to brush away some of that powder that we were baking with. Beautiful. See, and that's a nice seamless looking contour blush moment. It looks nice. It doesn't look too harsh. You're not going to look like crazy lady, which is crucial. Now I'm going to wait on highlighter because I want to use a cream highlight, and I want to be able to apply my powder shadows on my eyes without having fallout, because it will be harder to clean up. So we're going to move on to eyes. Alright, so if you are new here, then you would not know my obsession with some fluffy brows. But I love me a good fluffy brow, and I think fluffy brow is a great way of having a natural looking brow on your wedding day, or on someone else's wedding day. You know what I mean. So with that being said, my go-to and highly suggested product for you, if you are looking for a good fluffy brow that will not fail you, is the Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow Gel. I am someone who is blessed with a decent amount of eyebrow hairs. So if you need more than just a gel, they do have more in this line. And I would look into getting that. They have like the little marker, I think. And if not, Milani has one that's supposedly very good. So if I was to be doing someone's brows that did not have a lot of hairs, I would use a marker and I would use this in collaboration, because I don't think that anybody does the Instagram brow very often anymore. And I think that unless you wear that on a regular basis, which is cool if you do, but if you don't, I would not do that on your wedding day or on a day that you're going to be photographed like that, because I just think that eyebrows are such a like unique personal thing that if your eyebrows are like kind of invisible and then you show up on your wedding day and have a block brow, I think that it's going to be startling for everyone involved. So that being said, it's brow time. I think that this is also important to do before you do your eye makeup, because it helps frame what you're working with. So I'm going to focus this on my outer part of my eyebrow first and brush this up, because when you first pull it out of the tube, it has much more product on than after you use it for a little bit. So focusing it there first, because that's where my lightest part of my brow is. Repeat on the other side. And then work from the inside out. I'm telling you, even if you got married in a hurricane, these brows with this gel are not moving. Oh, I love it. It's so easy. So easy. Okay. So now we're moving on to the actual review / eye look. So I got the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette. And so this is what the unicorn looks like. This is what the back of it looks like. It's pretty cool. It's like a nice, cool textured box. Like it almost feels like faux leathery snakeskin. Then when you take the palette out, this is what the palette looks like, which looks just like the box. This is what the back looks like. And again, this is like, it feels nice. Like this feels quality. And you guys, the inside, oh my God. So it comes with a little thing, which I don't need. Are you ready? I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is not like new, but it's new for me. And this to me is the absolute perfect bridal palette you could ever ask for. And that's honestly why I asked for it for Christmas, because I knew I've had people ask me to do their makeup for their weddings and for their bridesmaids. And also I've had people ask me to do it in the future. And this to me just looks like the palette for that type of thing. Like, are you kidding? Is this not the most beautiful? So the whole point of this is they have their like warm palette, and then they have this that they came out with which is like a cool toned vault palette, if you will. And honestly, it's so freaking beautiful. And so I think a lot of people are kind of tricked by looking at like Instagram and YouTube to think that they are like warm tone shade people. And yes, you may be a warm tone shade person. However, I think a lot of people who look at wedding makeup online get confused by the fact that usually those are cool tones. And this screams bridal to me. So that is why I think this is the ideal bridal palette you could ever ask for. So I'm going to show you how I would use it. Like I said, I have never used this. I just took it out of the box. I'm so excited. But I already know this is the bridal palette to get. I think it's like $30 for 30 shades or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. It's such a good deal, and I already know I love Colourpop shadows, so I can only imagine that I'm gonna love this palette. So let's begin. All right, so I'm gonna throw some pictures up on the screen of bridal makeup looks that I have been asked to do on people, and for several different people. And I think it's funny because a lot of the pictures that people send are very similar, and I think it makes sense. Like I said, it's a very casual kind of, casual, but it's a very classic type of look that is not going to be like offensive later on in life when you look back at the pictures, and you're not going to go like, oh my God, I can't believe I had a hot pink cut crease on my wedding, unless you're that type of girl. And you know, good for you if you are. I'm in full support of that. But that being said, I think most people want a more classic, dramatic, but soft and smoky kind of look. And it's very classic. So I'm going to show you how to achieve that. So I'm going to start with a big fluffy brush. This is from the Morphe palette. And I'm going to go into a nice transition shade. Goodness. And so this is the shade Trip. And it's a very light, almost skin tone shade. And I'm just going to put this right into my crease. Blow it up high. Then we're going to take the same brush and we're going to go into a slightly deeper shade into Ghost Town. So this is much more like mauve-y almost, you can see. And it has a little bit of a gray tone to it. And I think it's really beautiful. And I'm going to repeat those steps. So far these shades are blending beautifully, which again, I'm not shocked by. It's Colourpop. You guys know I love Colourpop. So for me, I would cat my eye shape out because I think it looks better on me to have that shape. So I'm actually going to take this brush here, which is like a slightly smaller kind of fluffy brush, and I'm going to go back into Ghost Town and I'm going to use that shade to kind of attach from my outer corner on my lower lash to that upper part and kind of help create a cat eye shape. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. If you're somebody who prefers a slightly rounder eye shape, I would say you don't have to do this. This is totally your choice. But for me, I prefer that cat eye shape on myself. So this is what I would do if it was for me, or if I was a bridesmaid or a bride. So you can see that helps kind of lift the eye a little bit. So now I'm going to go in with this slightly smaller blending brush. This is an Elizabeth Mott blending brush, but whatever like smaller size blending brush you have is fine. And I'm going to go into the shade, I'm going to start with Bold Type, which is a slightly more gray toned, kind of slightly deeper shade. And I'm going to put that just below where we had packed that last shade. And I'm going to go over it with a different shade after this, but this will help add some depth. And I'm going to focus this more towards the outer corner of our eye. So you can see I'm not pulling it into the inner corner at all. I'm just using this right in the upper crease area of that cat eye on our outer corner. This will help add some dimension out here, which is important when you're taking pictures to give the illusion of a shadow up here. I think if you are somebody who does not wear makeup very frequently, I think that it's still important that you have some shadow out there to help give you some depth and dimension since you're having so many pictures done. So another key thing to do when you're doing your makeup is if you're using like a small mirror that you're using close up, I would also have another mirror that you're going to use kind of far away, and it will help give you an idea of like what you really look like as well. That way you can see it from like two different distances, because most of the pictures you're going to take are going to be from a fairly far distance, and then you're going to also take some that are close up. So you can see like that blend is literally beautiful. These shadows are incredible. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay. So I'm going to stick with that brush, and I'm going to go into now a slightly warmer shade, and it is Gravity Hill. This is much more of a pinky toned gray, and it does have a little bit of mauve, and I'm going to use that to kind of blend out the, Bold Type shade. And I'm also going to bring this into the inner corner, into the inner crease a little bit to help add some dimension in there. I did not clean this brush off since we're using this right over top of Bold Type. This will help give like that rosy flush to this look, so it's not so cool, but it's also not super warm. Hopefully you can see that that like really just transformed that shade into a really beautiful kind of, it's so freaking pretty. I can't. Okay, so I do have a little bit of fallout right here, so I'm just going to use this brush to brush it away. Guys, I'm sweating. Whew. Should have put deodorant on. Regret. Okay. So far, I'm loving this. Okay. Now I want to add a little bit more depth right towards the lash line, and we will then add a shade on our lid and work on our lower lash, and then we're almost done. Okay. So I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush. This is a teeny little brush from Luxie. It's a 141 mini round brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Obsidian, which is almost a satin finish looking shade, but it's a beautiful, like, plummy mauve gray. And I'm going to use this right towards our lower lash line, right at the outer corner. And we're just going to pack that on and build it up into the outer corner. Can get it into the crease a little bit, just and right out onto that winged part of the eye. I'm only bringing that in to like the first or the last outer third of our eye. I'm leaving the front 2/3 empty because we are going to put a nice light bright shade there that will really open the eyes and give us a beautiful look. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go back into that brush that we used with the last 2 shades, and I'm just going to gently kind of blend this in with those shades. It's very, very light pressure, barely moving this product around. Just want to kind of make everything look nice and seamless, blended, stunning, seamless. Okay, now it is time for the lid shade. This is a total personal preference thing. If you do not think that you want a little bit of shimmer, I would say use a shade like this. This is the shade Dreamful. This is a white, almost matte, but it has teeny tiny little micro shimmers in it. And if that is something that you want, a nice bright lid with no shimmer, it's totally cool. I personally love a good shimmer shade, so I would be wearing a shimmer shade, and I know that. So I'm actually going to go into the shade right here called Sediment to Be. And it is a beautiful taupe. It's so pretty, and it's kind of a mid-tone taupe, so it's not super bright, but it is slightly brighter. And I'm using it on this Tarte brush. It's just a paddle brush. Whatever paddle brush you have is fine, or you can use your finger. And I'm just going to put this on the center of our lid, and you can see how beautiful this shade is. I'm not going to put this all the way into the inner corner because I want to put a slightly brighter shade in there as well. But I'm going to put this right on the center of the lid here. Kind of pack it on, and then we'll use the matte shades to blend out the edges so it's all good. That's so pretty. Okay, now I'm going to wipe that off just into a little towel, and I'm going to go into a slightly brighter shade. I'm going to go into a little bit of I Dig It, which is a slightly brighter taupe, and also into So Fine, which is a slightly pinky toned light shade. And I think this is so pretty, and I think it will really help to brighten the inner part of the eye. And I'm just going to tap that off and put that right onto the inner corner and blend it right into that taupe shade we just put down. Blend it right on top. Go back into So Fine, the pinky shade. And I want this to open the eyes, so I'm really pushing this high up into the crease. Especially since I have hooded eyes, it's important that we get that shade up there so it's visible when my eyes are open still. So now that we put that on, I'm going to go back into that brush that we used with the matte shades, and I'm not going to put any more product on it. I'm just going to use this to blend the edges of where we put that original shimmery taupe shade with the matte shades. Just kind of using this to like shimmy it around. This will help coat the edges of it in matte shades and kind of drag some of the shimmer over so that it looks nice and blended on the edges. Like, tell me that's not beautiful. You can't. You can't. It's stunning. So now I want to use my little e.l.f. brush. You guys know this is my love of my life. And I'm going to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone. This is crucial. So I'm actually going to use the bright white Dreamful shade. And if you are somebody who's slightly deeper than me, you can use this, or you can use a slightly less white shade. But either way, you can blend this down so it's not like so white. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this, make sure you tap off the excess, and I'm going to put this right into my inner corner. Like I said, this is mostly matte with just a hint of micro shimmer. So this will give you the illusion of having a nice bright inner corner, but it won't be like just straight up glitter in there. And this is importante. If you do not do this, it will not brighten up your eyes the way that you want. And just use this little brush to blend it right into the inner corner, into the upper lid, into the lower lid. And you can see, like, that just helped brighten everything up. It's not like offensive, but it's nice and pretty and bright now. So I'm going to take that off, definitely tap this out for this part, and I'm going to put this right up at the top of our eyebrow. So you can see the difference between this side and this side. This is the one that I just highlighted, and it just gives a little bit of an arch that was missing on the other side. You can skip this step, but don't skip the inner corner step. I think this really helps to lift the eye. So I would not say skip either, but if you really hate it, you can skip it. So now if you're concerned, you can take a brush that has no product, a big fluffy brush with no product on it, and you can just kind of use this to diffuse the edges very much at the very tip top of the eye. Blend out the edges here. Just give it one more good go around. I'm obsessed with this look. Okay, so now we're gonna do our lower lash, and I want to emphasize that if you are going to wear makeup, please do a little something on the lower lash, just a little. Even if you're concerned about it, just a little shadow under there makes it look better. With the pictures, it's crucial. Even if it's just one slightly deeper than your skin tone shade, it is crucial to have some color under there. Okay, so we're going to go in with a very small flat brush, and we're going to go into the shade Obsidian. And I'm just going to get this right on this brush, ding, 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 just a hint. And I'm going to rim the very bottom as close to my eyelashes as possible. And this should connect up to the outer corner. See what I mean? It just helps to like frame the eye. If you do not like how deep this looks, which I don't think it's deep, we're going to blend it out so it's not going to be so deep, so don't be concerned. But if you don't like that, you can go for a lighter shade in this palette. Then we're going to take a slightly like fluffier brush. So I'm actually going to take this little, the 141 brush. I wiped it off, it has nothing on it, and I'm just going to use this to smudge this around. No additional product. It's just going to help diffuse this color. We're going to blend it into the cat eye shape that we have going on up here. And then I want to take a little bit of Ghost Town on that 141 brush, and we're just going to use that to add a little bit more right at the outer edges for our lower lash. This should blend right into the wing that we have going on. And I like a good slight shimmer on the lower lash. So I'm actually going to go in with the paddle brush that we used into that light pink So Fine shade. I'm just going to get a little bit of that onto the brush and put that right. I'm only going to like the first like 2/3 of the eye, maybe even 1/3 of the eye. So that is it for the eyes. If you like a winged liner, I would say do it. If you are not somebody who typically wears a wing liner, this has enough drama on the outer corner that you don't need it. That being said, it is now lash time, so I would personally suggest that if you are somebody who does not wear false lashes ever, you either do a half lash, which is probably what I don't know what I'm going to do. But I would say definitely go for a half lash and or go for the individual lashes. That way, in case you cry, in case anything goes wrong, you can easily take them off and replace them, or they won't fall off so easily. I noticed for me, like the place where if I wear a full strip lash, where it falls off the first is right on this inner corner. So if you don't have something like there, then if you tear up, or if you're like just excited, or if you're taking pictures in the wind and your eyes start watering or whatever, it won't fall off and it won't become annoying and like stick out in all the pictures. So yeah, so I highly recommend individual lashes and or half lashes, and it will help to bring the eyes up and give you like a nice fresh awake look. That's just my personal opinion. You guys can do what you want, but in the meantime I'm going to apply lashes and I'll be right back. Okie doke. So now I have lashes on. I did a full strip because I probably would do that, and I did not do liner. I did add a slight line just above the lashes with just my NYX matte liquid liner. It does not run, so if you are going to do liner, I would suggest you use that one, and you guys know it's my favorite. With that being said, it is crucial, you guys probably should know this, waterproof mascara. If you are gonna do wedding makeup, definitely make sure that you're not gonna cry black when you cry. Yeah, waterproof is necessary. So I am loving this look. I hope you guys are too. So it is highlight time. I personally love highlight, so I'm gonna use it. If you are somebody who's not really into it, you don't have to do it, but I think it adds a beautiful like glow to the skin, and yeah. So I'm gonna start with my Colourpop blush, or nope, Light Stix. This is in the shade Uoeno, but you know what I mean. Just, I personally love this formula, so I would use this, and I may even top it with a little bit of a powder highlight, but this is not super glittery. It just gives your skin like a beautiful dewy glow, and that's what is necessary, I think, on a wedding day, that you have that beautiful bridal glow. So I'm going to place this just on the cheeks, blend this up and out. Look at that. Oh, look at how fresh. Oh my gosh. Okay, a little bit on the nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Oh, I can't even. Okay, honestly, I don't even think I want to add anything else on top of it. But if you have a highlight that you absolutely love, that you know is like a beautiful skin tone shade, it's nothing too icy, I would not suggest. And it's nothing too, don't go too dark. Don't go too dark, or else you're gonna do the opposite of what you want. So now that we've done that, oh, I love it. I'm going to set my face, so I'm going to use the Morphe setting spray, but any setting spray you want. I would probably usually use my e.l.f. one, but I'm actually out of it. But I love the Morphe one because it gives you such a beautiful glowy look. But again, if you are somebody who is oily, definitely look at getting something that will keep you matte and will keep your makeup on for a long time. If you struggle with your makeup kind of coming off through the day, definitely do some research. I highly recommend the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. That really keeps my makeup in place. But as a personal preference, whatever you choose, I have heard the Huda Beauty one keeps your makeup like on. I've never used it. Apparently it has a very strong smell, which I'm not into. But again, there's so many setting sprays. If you want a beautiful dew, Morphe. If you want something that has a good mixture of a dew and a set, the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set is my suggestion. The Milani dewy one is nice. Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones. So do your research, figure out what you want. But I'm going to use the Morphe one today. All right, so with this, so I've set my face, and I think it looks so good. So with this look, you could pretty much wear whatever lip color you want. So if you are somebody who's getting married like in the fall and you want like a cool, deep tone, you could totally do that. If you want to do a red, you could absolutely do that. If you want to do a pink, whatever you want, you could. This makeup look is neutral, so it can be used with whatever lip you want. For me, I think I would probably, this is the lip that I find myself using the most for like neutral times, and I did talk about it in my last favorites video. So I'm going to use this. This is the Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick in Sellout. This is like my perfect nude, and if I want to do a gloss, you could do a gloss. Personally for me, if it was my wedding, I would be wearing a matte. And I may think about putting like a gloss on later, but simply for like the kiss. You wouldn't want your lipstick like all over your person, you know what I mean? I don't know. But for pictures and stuff, you could totally add a slight gloss if you like that look a little bit more. But yes, so I'm going to use this, and yeah. So if you want to use a lip liner, if you're going to wear a deeper tone, I would definitely suggest you do that. It's not required if you're not going to wear a deeper tone, but yeah. So since this is a little bit warmer than I think I would want to go, I would put the At Me. It's a slightly more like cool tone pink, and I would just kind of layer this right on top. I think it's important to use a lipstick that gives you color. You don't want to use something that's so nude that it washes you out. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. I think this is such a good classic neutral bridal look or bridesmaids look. Whatever your role in the wedding, that's the word I was looking for. Whatever your role in the wedding, I think this is a great look for it. Like I said, you can definitely smoke this out more if you are somebody who wants to go a little bit more in depth. If you want to lighten it up, you can totally do that. But I think this is a good all-around look that's kind of, you know, classic and easy. I mean, in my opinion, I thought it was pretty easy. And yeah, this is a great palette. As a review of this palette in first impressions, I'm extremely thrilled with how this performed. Everything about this palette was easy to use. The packaging is friggin' beautiful. And then just the shade range in here. I mean, you do have a lot of lights and a lot of darks. They have a black, they have a white, they have a cream. The shimmer shades are perfect. Like, all around, this is such a good palette. So if you are somebody who is going to be in a wedding and you have decided that you're going to do your own makeup, or you just love a good neutral palette or whatever, I think this is such a good option for you. And yeah, so 10 out of 10, highly recommend this palette, and I highly recommend this look as well. If you do recreate it for like any future event or whatever, definitely tag me in it. I'd like to see it. But yeah, by the way, these little marks on here, I had like a weird allergic reaction like a week ago, and they're still there, so that's why I didn't film last week, because it was like really aggressive and they were super itchy, and I was like, what is happening to my neck? But yeah, so they're healing, but that's what those are from. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I was going to be in a wedding or whatever, this is actually one of the bridesmaids dresses. Shout out to Caroline if you're watching this video. This is the bridesmaid's dress we were supposed to wear at your wedding this summer. But yeah, if I was going to be at the wedding, I would probably curl my hair, but this is probably similar to how I would wear it. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to decide how I like my hair the most at this point, because I've tried the middle part and I think I like it, but then there's sometimes when I wear it and I'm like, So I don't know. Comment down below if you like my middle or my side part more. I don't know. Maybe I like both. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'd probably curl my hair, but this would be such a good opportunity. Like, I know so many people in my life who have done proms and dances and events and birthdays and weddings, and they like pay to get people to do their makeup, which is totally fine, and you are absolutely in your right to do that. Professional makeup artists are absolutely necessary in this world. But if you're somebody who is interested in makeup and you have a little bit of practice with it, or you can't afford to have somebody do your makeup, I think that this is a really attainable look that looks very classic and very Pinterest worthy, in my opinion, that is easily attainable on like by yourself. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like any more wedding makeup tutorials, definitely let me know down below, and give me some suggestions. You know, I don't know if there's any more to be done, but yeah, if you have any suggestions for me, put them down below. And if you don't already, you should follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I hope you have already subscribed, and if you haven't, go ahead and do so right now. And I will see you guys in my next video. Stay safe. Bye.